needs to turn down my camera. It's out of focus, so we need to try and fix that real quick. Let's see if I can do this. Is it focused? Looks like it's focused. Hold on, let me turn this brightness up. Sometimes that can help. Okay, there we go. It's good. Alrighty. We're back, guys. Friday, 9-game slate. We're going to talk about some plays for tonight. We're going to answer some questions as well, like we always do. I will say for this slate, I am kind of struggling to find some plays to give out. I was, trying to do some research before I hopped on stream, have some plays ready for you guys. I'm struggling, but I've got a couple that I'm looking at that we'll talk about later in the stream. And of course, we'll keep an eye on injury news, starting lineup, see if there's any plays that we can, grab quickly during stream. We got some really, really good plays yesterday when it was announced that Andre Drummond was starting. We took his over PRA, over PR, pretty much cashed everything. Points, rebounds, like any props you took on Drummond yesterday cashed. So definitely pays to be in the streams. We gave out an over on Maxime Reynal, his fantasy score, that cash sweat-free. And then I think, we gave out an over on Sadiq Bey, which that's for today's game. So we're still waiting for that. Hopefully Sadiq Bey can come through for us and we can hit all those slips from yesterday's stream. And if we give out any slips for today, we can hopefully hit those as well. But it's Friday, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully we can all make some money tonight. And if you guys have any questions for this slate, you can throw those in chat. We'll be live probably till like 6:45, 6:50. I don't know if I'll go the full hour today. It'll just kind of depend on how many questions we have and stuff like that. But definitely want to stay on for at least like 30 minutes. Stay on until we get lineups for some of these 7 o'clock games. We got, let's see, the Washington-Indiana game, Charlotte-Cleveland, Memphis-Utah. All those games are starting at 7 o'clock. So I'll definitely stay on at least till, 6:40, 6:45, once we get news for those games. Starting lineups, at least. But yeah, man, if you guys have questions, go ahead and start throwing those in chat, and we'll get them answered. Ralph Ford says it's win time. Definitely win time, baby. Hopefully it's win time. Danielle says, in Noah we trust. Appreciate you, Danielle. Appreciate you. Or Daniel, sorry. Mike Doyle with some hearts in the chat. Appreciate you, Mike. Mike says 2-1 when I asked this question, but best PRA play for today, Noah. Let's take a look at the PRA props. This one, man, I have no idea what the Pacers are going to do with their minutes. But TJ McConnell is a very productive player when he gets minutes. Andrew Nembhard's out. If TJ McConnell plays 20 minutes, he could easily get 17 PRA. So, man, this line just became available. There wasn't props up for TJ McConnell earlier. I have no idea how much he plays, McConnell, because he's a player that he's really good. He can contribute to winning. But 16.5 PRA feels like a low line on TJ McConnell, given the scenario here. Given Andrew Nembhard out and a matchup against the Wizards. So if you want a PRA prop, Mike, I like McConnell over 16.5. Honestly, I might give that out as official play for today. His points and assists is at 15.5. So PRA should probably be 18.5. I mean, his rebounds probably at 2.5. I like this. Yeah, this is gonna be a play for sure. I just got to find some plays to pair with it. The problem is we just don't know what the Pacers are gonna do with their minutes. They're not trying to win games right now, so there's a chance that McConnell only plays 15 minutes, but he could still be productive enough in 15 minutes to get 17 PRA. He should average a PRA per minute in this matchup without Andrew Nembhard, without Siakam, with a lot of their guys out. Yeah, I like that play. I definitely do. I think that's a good one. So that'll answer your question, Mike. Hopefully TJ can come through. I'm gonna see if we get any news, but I'm gonna have this McConnell play ready. I've got a couple fantasy score lines I was looking at that we can maybe pair with this McConnell prop because I definitely like this one. We'll wait a minute. Hopefully that line doesn't bump. But yeah, we'll wait a minute. David Wayne says, baby daddy narrative for the win and $1,200 if you tailed my 4 plays in here yesterday. Yeah, David, I saw your comment on the YouTube video. I mean, hey, the baby daddy narrative, undefeated, man. Openly Opinionated says, what's up, bro? How are you? We sniping and I'm nuking. Well, now that you say that you're struggling, I'm scared. I mean, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I was struggling to find plays that I really liked for today because a lot of the lines have bumped. But again, you never know, what could come out, what injury news, what starting lineups could come out on stream for plays to open up. But I do like that McConnell play. I think that's good. I'm hoping that line doesn't move because I might give that out later in a stream slip. But yeah, for injury news today, like there's not a ton that we're waiting on. The big news that we're waiting on is in the later games. Jamal Murray's questionable and LeBron is questionable, but we're probably not going to get any of that news on stream. But if if you want to be ready later tonight, I would definitely say if you see LeBron out, I would bet Luka overs. I would bet Rui overs. You could even look at some Austin Reeves overs. And then for Jamal, I mean, if he's out, it kind of helps everybody. Cam Johnson, Christian Brown, obviously Jokic. But I would bet LeBron plays. I'd bet Jamal Murray plays. Abe says, yo, what's up, guys? It's Noah here. What's up, Abe? What's up, my man? Jonathan says, your live stream picks are nice. Appreciate that, Jonathan. Yeah, we try to find the good plays, man. We try to. I will say, a lot of the plays I give out on my live streams, I try and wait for, like, injury news, because that's when you can get some really good stuff. But I do want to try and come on and, like, have a slip already kind of ready to give out for you guys every day. And I've got a couple plays I'm looking at, but, like, it's tough because, like, I like to look at fantasy scores a lot, and, like, Prizepicks, all the fantasy score lines have, like, really adjusted. Like, all these lines are moving. Like, LaMelo was at 38 just literally, like, 5 minutes ago. Kalkbrenner was at 24. These lines are moving. Allen was at 33.5. So it's tough giving out fantasy score props this late in the day because the projections have just changed so much. But there's a couple that I'm looking at that I'm liking still. And hopefully those lines don't move. So one that I was liking was Drew at 30.5, and it already went up a point. So that's kind of annoying. There's a play I gave out on Patreon that's still available with no bump. We maybe could give that one out. I think all the plays I gave out on Patreon today, besides one, either bumped or got removed. So got that working for us, I guess. Alex said he had a spring training slip go 4 for 5. That's tough, man. That's tough. I honestly, like, betting on spring training. I don't think I've ever bet on spring training. But I guess, yeah, if you think you can find the plays, then go for it. Okay, we just got Pacers available players: McConnell, Shepard, Brown, Walker, Huff. So they have 9 available players. So the Pacers are not. They're not super deep tonight. They've got to kind of give TJ some minutes because they only have 9 available players. Dude, I really like this play on McConnell. Like, if McConnell, look, if they have a 9-man rotation and McConnell plays like 20 minutes, then, like, so be it. Maybe that happens, but I feel like he's got to play some. There's definitely a chance, like, if it's a competitive game, like, he doesn't play late in the game. But I think he'll be very productive in the minutes he gets. I'm going to play this. McConnell PRA 26.5, I like. Let's see if we can find a play to pair with it. So I was looking at Drew's fantasy score. It was at 30.5, and it's at 31.5 now. And honestly, at 31.5, I still think it's okay. Christian Brown's fantasy score I was kind of liking. Obviously, if Jamal Murray got ruled out, that would look even better. But I don't think Jamal's going to sit. I'd be surprised if he does. let's take Drew fantasy because I like that. I'll tell some reasons why I like it, and then we'll do Kawhi as well. So this was a play I gave out to Patreon members today, and the line didn't bump. So let's take Kawhi. Let's take Drew. We're gonna do this as our official stream slip for today. We'll lock that in. So the McConnell one, we kind of already discussed it. I mean, the Pacers only have 9 available players. Andrew Nembhard's out. I'm not expecting McConnell to play like a shit ton of minutes because he's one of their best players. They're trying to lose, but the line is already set as if McConnell's not playing full minutes. If McConnell was playing 30 minutes tonight, his PRA line would be almost 30. It's almost like the books are basically projecting him for like 18, 20 minutes. And there's a chance he could play more. Even if he does play 18 to 20 minutes, I expect him to be very productive when he's on the floor. It's a great matchup. He's a productive player when he gets minutes. Last time I checked, his PA line was at 15.5. So, I mean, only a 1 point difference between PRA and PA. PRA should probably be at least 17.5, if not 18.5. And then Kawhi, that was a play that I gave out to Patreon members. I'll kind of discuss why I took it. For one, it is a back-to-back, so I guess that's a little concerning for Kawhi. But on back-to-backs this year, the Clippers haven't, like, managed Kawhi's minutes a ton. Let's see. Last time they were on a back-to-back, Kawhi played 31.5 minutes against Houston, and then the day after that, he played 32.5 minutes. So pretty normal minutes. He played 33 minutes yesterday. I'm guessing he plays about the same today. He wasn't very good yesterday. Like, Kawhi was pretty unproductive. But without James Harden, who's no longer on the team, without Zubac, Kawhi has been very productive per minute. Like, I think without those guys, he's averaging like 1.5 fantasy points per minute. The matchup against the Lakers, I think, is a pretty decent one for Kawhi. So, yeah, no Zoo, no Harden. If we get 32, 33 minutes from Kawhi here, I'd bet on him going over 45 fantasy points more times than not. And then Drew Holiday, his minutes are finally back to full. He was working his way back from injury, but right before the All-Star break, he did play over 30 minutes. I think he played 33 in their last game. Yeah, 33. He came back from injury, let's see. It was in like mid-January. And when he came back from injury, they were basically only playing him like 20 to 24 minutes. But then towards the end of the All-Star, or right before the All-Star break, we started to see 27 minutes, 28 minutes, 31 minutes, 33 minutes. Now that Drew's playing over 30 minutes again, I think 21.5 or 31.5 fantasy is a little bit of a low line. I went and looked. When Drew's played at least like 28 minutes this year, I think he's over 31.5 fantasy in like 12 out of 15 games. So very good hit rate. He's been super productive with the Blazers this year. He's averaging like almost a career high in fantasy points per minute. His role is just completely different. Like if you look at his fantasy points per minute, let's see. When he was on the Celtics last year and the year before, you know, his fantasy points per minute were not great, 0.83, 0.89. This year with Portland, huge bump up, 1.15. It's almost like, it's basically similar production as to when he was on the Bucks. You know, with the Bucks, 1.14, 1.13, 1.17 fantasy points per minute. He's averaged over a fantasy point per minute this year. Should play over 30 minutes. Matchup against the Nuggets, I think, is decent. The Nuggets are on a back-to-back, so they could be tired. They could be, you know, sluggish here. Maybe their defense isn't as sharp on a back-to-back. I already took Denny Obvious over fantasy. And honestly, I would have taken Drew as well, but I just didn't want to take two Blazers in the same slip. But yeah, I do like this Drew play. So if you guys want to slip for today, this is what we're rocking with. 3 picks. Let's go. Hopefully we can cash it. And then we're still waiting for our Sadiq Bey over that we took yesterday. If Sadiq Bey cashes that PRA line that we took yesterday, you know, we'll hit all of our slips from the stream yesterday. So it could be a really good night. To be determined. To be determined. Christopher says, Noah, what up? What's up, Christopher? What's up, man? You like anything from Lakers Clippers? I like that Kawhi over fantasy. Yes, I do like that. You like Jarris or Ben Shepherd with so many Pacers out? Someone has to get stats right. That is true. They only have 9 available players, so they're going to have to run somewhat of a tight rotation. I will say that they're going to spread out the minutes. So I would be surprised if you see somebody playing like 37, 38 minutes. Like, I think the most likely scenario is everyone gets like at least 20 minutes. Maybe some guys get 25. Maybe Jarris gets like 30. Maybe Jay Huff gets like 30. But they're going to spread out the minutes. It's a great matchup though. If there was any player that I would have to bet on for like minutes, I would say like Kobe Brown is the guy that I think like pretty likely to get 30 plus minutes. I think Jarris pretty likely, but I could see them sitting Jarris if he's playing too well. TJ, obviously not expecting a ton of minutes from TJ, but I'm expecting him to be very productive when he's out there. But somebody from the Pacers probably does well tonight and goes over their lines. Maybe multiple guys, because the matchup's so good and they only have non-available players. John Collins PR, he may cook my Lakers. I feel we don't do that well with those types. Kawhi may go off too. Okay, Kawhi's fantasy line just got bumped up. So we got some good value there. But you're asking about John Collins PR. We can take a look at John Collins. Let's go over to Props Madness. If you guys don't have an account on Props Madness, use code NOAH. You'll get 25% off your first monthly or yearly subscription. Huge, shout out to Props Madness. Great product, super helpful if you're trying to research player props. You can look at anything you want to look at. Hit rates, matchups, on-off splits. They've got everything. So let's look at John Collins this year without Harden, because he's no longer on the team, and without Zubac. Let's look at his points plus rebounds. He's been pretty good. He's averaging 23.3 PR per game, over in 4 out of 6 games. The games he went under were pretty bad matchups against Minnesota and Houston. Lakers definitely a better matchup for John Collins. Looks like sportsbooks have his line at 20.5, slightly favoring the under. Prizepicks at 20.5. If I had to pick a side on that, I'd lean the over on John Collins PR. We can look at the matchup. So, John Collins scores 69% of his points from within 10 feet. Lakers, below league average in defending that area. Collins, again, scores a lot of his points, again, within 10 feet in the paint. So that's where the Lakers kind of have struggled this year. 29% of his points are coming from spot up. The Lakers rank 15th, so they're pretty much average defending spot up. I don't hate it on John Collins. He has been good without Zubac and without Harden. Even without Harden, he's been really good. 8 out of 11 games without Harden, he's over his PR line. Ralph Ford says, to you, different, first time seeing someone live stream pick. I appreciate you, bro. Oh, thank you, Ralph. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for tuning into the streams. We think about Jalen Williams under PRA. We can look at that one. So his lines are probably going to be lower than where they have been, because some of these games I want to say were without Chet or without Hartenstein. I'd be a little hesitant betting unders on Jay Will, just because I could definitely see a scenario where it's a blowout and he plays like a lot in the fourth quarter. I'd assume if it's a blowout, he will get garbage time minutes. Maybe not, but I would think he does. Look, like you can look at his games without SGA and with Hartenstein and with Chet. He's averaging 16 PRA per game. This game, I think, they won by 27. He had 22 PRA. That's really, that's what it comes down to, honestly. If you think the Nets can keep it close, I like the under on Jay Will's PRA. But I would be very scared that it's a blowout. Going into the fourth quarter, Jay Will has 13 PRA, and then he plays the whole fourth quarter or something. That would be my concern. But you can see, the Rockets game was close. He only played 15 minutes. The Lakers game was close. He only played 19 minutes. But then this game, the blowout against Phoenix, he played 28 minutes. So that's the concern. And the books are almost setting lines as if it's going to be a blowout. You're seeing some higher lines on Jay Will. You're seeing some higher lines on Jared McCain. Maybe the Nets keep it close, though. I doubt it, but maybe they do. I like Trey Johnson, 5 rebounds and assists, cover this damn near every game. He's played 24 minutes and Kaishan's out. Yeah, but I don't know if he plays 24 minutes. I was wrong on Trey Johnson yesterday. I took an over on Trey Johnson, and I thought, there's a chance he would play, like, not big minutes, but, even if it was a competitive game, that he wouldn't get benched. But they benched him. Like, it's so stupid. He's like a 19-year-old rookie. Why are you not playing him? Even, I know you're trying to lose, but, like, give the young guys some playing time. I think at this point, man, like, I'm not a ban list guy. Like, I never ban players, but I'm almost, like, to the point where I'm like, I'm just not betting any Wizards props the rest of the year. It's just, this team is way too unpredictable. Last night, Trey Johnson only played, 19 minutes. Now, he did have 8 RA in 19 minutes, but I wouldn't want to bet on that type of production. Like, let's look at games this year when he plays. So, without Kaishan George, he is averaging, 5.3 RA per game. But, like, some of these games he went over, 28 minutes, 22 minutes, 27, 28. I would bet he plays, like, 20 to 22. So, if you look at games without Kaishan when he plays, like, 20 to 22 minutes, he's only over in what? Right, but it's only a one-game sample. Let's look at, like, 18 to 22 minutes. I guess I can't even get a sample that big. How many minutes? Okay, so these games, y'all played decent minutes, too. So he's played decent minutes in a lot of these games without Kaishan, but, yeah, last night, only, 19 minutes? That's my concern. I have no idea how many minutes he plays. He could play 19 again. He could play 24. He could play 15. Like, there's just so much volatility with this Wizards team. It's just almost not even worth it to bet on them. Overs or unders. You could bet an under and, like, the guy plays more than you expect. You could bet an over and, he plays 15 minutes. It's just... who knows, man. But David, if you like that prop, man, then feel free to take it. I would be a little hesitant there. TJ's lowest line on underdogs 18.5, so it's good value, I think. Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't even look at underdog. I assumed usually on a lot of times on Props Madness you can actually compare lines. Let's see. I keep spelling his name wrong. So let's take a look. Yeah, so DraftKings has him. So MGM has him 16.5. Okay, Prizepicks looks like did bump his up. Or no, it's still 16.5. It says it's 17.5 on Props Madness. But DraftKings has him 17.5. It is a one-way market. MGM 16.5. It says underdog doesn't have a line available. But I bet I could pull up underdog. Let's see. 16.5 definitely felt like a low line, especially with his PA being at, 15.5. Pull up underdog here. Yes, 17.5 on underdog, so definitely good. Definitely good. I think on Prizepicks at 16.5. Bernie asks about Naz Reid fantasy score. Let's take a look at that one. Line's at 29. So, I want to say Naz Reid's been like, he was playing really poorly before the All-Star break. I still think his minutes were solid, though. I don't think he was shooting the ball very well. Let's see. So, like, these games, 25 minutes, 24 minutes, 21, 24. Shot 4 for 8, 3 for 8, 4 for 9, 3 for 9. Going into the All-Star break, he wasn't playing well, but, like, the minutes were still solid. This is a game that has some blowout risk. Maybe Naz would get a little bit extended if it's a blowout. I feel like 29's a good line. I'd lean the under if I had to pick a side there, but yeah, I'm not in love with that one way or the other. I don't think he's not going to continue to be this bad. Like, Naz is typically a pretty productive player when he gets minutes. On average, when he plays like 25 minutes, he'll average like 28 fantasy points, 29 fantasy points. Obviously, his production has been a little bit down as of late. Maybe the addition of Ayo Dosunmu, having a higher usage player in that second unit, maybe that's had a negative impact on Naz Reid. Because I want to say all these games were with Ayo, since Ayo got acquired. Yeah. maybe his usage is taking a hit, playing with Io in that second unit. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think he'll continue to be as bad as he's been though. How about Jalen over fantasy points again? Crushed it again last night. I mean, yeah, Jalen Johnson just feels like he goes over his props every night, except when except when I bet him. If I were to bet Jalen Johnson overs tonight, he would suck. But look, I've said it before. His lines are set super high for a reason. They feel pretty accurate to me. 42.5 PRA, 50 fantasy, like that feels like a pretty good line. But I get it. He's been going over a ton lately, so that's usually what people like to bet into. I don't think I'd be running to take overs on Jalen Johnson. I feel like the lines are set pretty correctly. I want to say he has been pretty good in this matchup, though, against the Heat. Let's look at that. So this year, against the Heat, 24 points, 29 points, PRA, 43, 51. He's definitely been good in this matchup. The Heat do play fast, which should help Jalen Johnson because he likes to play in transition a lot. But I don't see a ton of edge on his overs. How do you feel about Kyle Filipowski over 10 rebounds? And, oh, hold up. How do you feel about Kyle Filipowski over 10 rebounds? Kyle, and Love are the only available centers, plus Grizzlies have no real center right now. That is true. The Grizzlies are basically out there trotting out, slow-mo at center. So, let's see. Let's take a look at Filipowski. So, Nurkic is out, for sure. We know that. We expect Filipowski to start at center. They don't have Lauri Markkanen either. Jaren Jackson Jr. is out. So, the minutes should be solid. I would think even if it's like a competitive game, the Jazz are not going to bench Filipowski. Like, I would think he still gets minutes. There's a possibility that they bench like Bryce Sensabaugh, maybe Isaiah Collier. And I feel like Filipowski's minutes are pretty stable. Let's look at games this year without, let's look at his rebounds without Nurkic. Let's see if I can go to Nurkic. Where's Nurkic at? Take Nurkic out. So just in games without Nurkic, he's averaging 9.2 rebounds per game. His minutes lately have been really good without Nurkic. There were some games earlier this season where he wasn't playing a lot of minutes, 18, 19. Let's look at games when he gets at least like 26 minutes without Nurkic. With at least 26 minutes, 10.9 rebounds per game, over in 5 out of 10 games. The rebounding matchup is very, very good. Like, it's one of the best you can get. I feel like 10 is a good line on Filipowski. His books have his line at 10.5, but juiced towards the under. Hard Rock has him at 10.5, slightly juiced to the over. If it's at 10 on Prizepicks, like, I don't think that's terrible. It's at 10.5 now. Yeah, like at 10.5, I don't know. I'm not in love with it. Okay, we did get some starting lineups. Cavs will start Harden, Mitchell, Merrill, Wade, Allen. So they're going with Merrill over Tyson. Okay. Balkanuppel, Miller, James, and Kalk for the Hornets. Carrington, Johnson, Coulibaly, Champagny, and Vuk for the Wizards. And then Grizzlies available players. Grizzlies have, non-available players as expected. So really nothing unexpected yet. I wonder, do they have props for Justin Champagny? Justin Champagny was a DMP yesterday, surprisingly. Yeah, they don't even have props up for him. Mitch Robb got an and one and 2 more free throw attempts his first 2 possessions in the game. 1.5 free throw attempts was money. Damn. Love to cash him easy like that. TJ's listed questionable. We need a new PRA pick. He's available to play. He's available. Underdog tweeted it out like an hour ago. Where is it? Yeah, Pacers available players. McConnell's available. We don't have the Pacers starting lineup yet, so that's something we're definitely gonna have to wait on. I'll be interested to see if they start McConnell. Typically he comes off the bench, but just given how shorthanded they are, they might actually start him. Which if he starts, maybe his minutes are, a little bit more secure. Or maybe his minutes get a little bit higher. It looks like Prizepicks did just bump up his PRA line of points. So, yeah, if you got that at 16.5, we got a good play there, I think. I'm hoping he starts, honestly. If he starts, I feel a little bit better about it. You see, Underdog has increased 2- and 3-man power payouts, 3.5x and 6.5x. I did see that, and that's a big change. That's huge. I'm hoping that Prizepicks will, follow suit or do something. I can only play $25 on Underdog, so I'm limited there anyway. But it's great. It's a good change for sure. The only issue I have with Underdog, I just wish Underdog would put out more fantasy score lines. Like Prizepicks, the one thing I like about Prizepicks, they put out a ton of fantasy score lines. They pretty much put out fantasy score lines for like every projected starter and some bench players. Underdog only does like star players. That's really it. So I hate that about Underdog, but the payout change is a W for sure. Definitely, 2-pick power plays are going to be better to take on Underdog if you can get the same lines there. Sometimes the lines aren't the same though. And then obviously, 3-pick powers are better too. Any games you like under in total points? I haven't even looked at like the team totals. I guess I could pull that up on DK real quick. Let's see here. I really have no idea. Let's see. Total in the Jazz Grizzlies 237.5. So that's a scenario where we have like you have two shit defenses, but you also have two shit teams. So it's like, what gives? Are the defenses going to be so bad that these teams just score a shit ton of points, or are these teams just so bad that like they don't score points? I could see taking the under in that game. 237.5 feels a little high for just the caliber of players that are going to be on the floor in that game. 229.5 Cleveland Charlotte. I've never bet like a team total or a game total. Like I'm just thinking in my head. Like there's no data or anything. I'm just literally eyeballing and looking. Denver Portland 240.5 under. That doesn't look too bad. I feel like that's a little bit high with the Nuggets on a back-to-back. Their offense might not be as crisp on a back-to-back, and if Jamal doesn't play, they might not be as crisp scoring. Could see taking the under on that, but that's really it. Like, yeah, maybe Memphis, Utah under 237.5, and then maybe like Portland, Denver under 240.5. I guess, I don't know. Any thoughts about Hero PR? I don't know if he's as hurt as it seems or if they gatekeeping him. I mean, it's tough. I think last time Hero came back from injury, he came off the bench and he played like 20-something minutes, like 29 minutes. Let's see. We just get word Tyus Jones is going to start for the Mavs. That's interesting. Do they have props up for Tyus Jones? Yeah, I didn't think so. Let's see. If Tyus Jones is starting, that probably means Brandon Williams is not starting. You could look at some Brandon Williams unders, I think. Maybe 26.5 PR. It looks like, yeah, some of these lines are getting bumped down. It looks like. Oh, damn. They're really cooking these lines. Okay, never mind then. I think everything's already kind of been adjusted. Because I'm pretty sure Williams' PRA was like 27.5 or 28.5 literally a few minutes ago. So yeah, I guess I was late to that. Never mind. But let's see, you're asking about Hero PR? Yeah, so let's see. Last time, so Hero came back from injury after being out for like a month, and they brought him off the bench and he played 28 minutes. I have no idea. Like, he's been out, what he's been out with, it's a rib injury. I mean, you really never know how a rib injury could affect a player. I mean, you think a guy like Hero who takes a ton of jump shots, like pulling up, could have an impact. I don't know. That's one of those situations, like, I would probably just stay away. I know Hero's a popular play tonight. I'm not confident in Hero's minutes or his production coming back from injury. I'd just stay away. Okay, we did just get the Pacers starting lineup. McConnell, Jones, Shepard, Walker, and Huff. So TJ McConnell is starting. That makes me more confident, yeah. for sure. There's definitely still some downside, I guess. I'm going to go look at Sleeper, see where they have McConnell at. I might bet this on Sleeper. Yeah, I'm at 4.5 assists, 15.5 PA. 15.5 PA looks decent. I'm going to take that on Sleeper. Okay. There's still a chance that McConnell starts and plays like 18 minutes. But last night, I think Andrew Nembhard played like 21 minutes. So I feel like if they're going to play Andrew Nembhard 21 minutes, they'll play TJ McConnell 21 minutes. I wonder if they're going to bump the lines on McConnell. Oh shit, his PRA went up a ton. Fuck. 22.5? Okay, they're moving the lines a lot now. Damn, the books really upped his lines. I wasn't sure if they were even going to adjust them, but damn, I guess now that McConnell's starting, yeah, the books are like way more confident in his minutes. I hate doubling down, but I think I'm going to double down on Sleeper. Sleeper still has McConnell at 15.5 PA, and they have him at 12.5 PR. I think both of those are good to take on Sleeper. I'm sure this is going to come back to bite me. Okay, 21.5 PRA still, 18.5. Yeah, his PA line on Sleeper is still 15.5. This is why I like Sleeper, because like they're so slow to adjust their lines. And they actually let me bet money. I can bet up to $500 on Sleeper. For now. I don't know how long that's going to continue. Okay, they just removed McConnell PA. Can I get PR? Nope, can't get 12.5 PR. 10.5 points. I don't really like that as much. Okay. I got 2 entries in with McConnell and Sleeper, so that's good. I got 15.5 PA, and I got 12.5 PR. His PA line's 18.5 on Prizepicks. His PR was 15.5. The line's locked now. Damn, we just got Memphis' starting lineup, and Memphis is not starting Camp Spencer, so that sucks for our Camp Spencer over. I mean, they only have 9 available players, so he's still going to get some run, but him not starting with so many guys out, like that's concerning. He should be starting. Also, Kyle Anderson's not starting either. Honestly, I don't hate taking some Kyle Anderson unders, because he was projected to start. You could definitely look at like under 19.5 PRA. I think that's a decent look. I don't have a good pair. If you guys have a play that you like, feel free to pair it with this Kyle Anderson under, because I think that's good. That line's probably going to get bumped down, I'd assume. And they're probably going to bump Cam Spencer's lines down as well. So you could definitely take some unders on Cam Spencer, but like I like Cam Spencer props tonight, but I feel like I probably made a bad bet because him not starting is a concern. But maybe he comes off the bench and still plays well. I mean, the matchup's great. He's going to have a big role, but I was hoping I was expecting him to start. I'm very surprised they're going with Taylor Hendricks over him. Okay, that Kyle Henderson line just went down 3 points. So hopefully some of you guys got it. I mean, it wasn't up for very long. You could still take under 28 fantasy. That's honestly still pretty good. They lock PRA, but under 28 fantasy still looks pretty solid. I would definitely take that if you still have it, or if you can pair something with it. I would give a pair, but like I really just don't know, man. I don't know what's a good pair. Everything I've pretty much bet. I mean, the Kawhi line bumped up half a point. You could take the Drew fantasy line. Where is it at? 31.5. Like, you could do that. I think that's solid. I think that's solid. I'll lock that in. 2 pick. I'd assume with Anderson not starting, he probably projects for like 3 to 4 less minutes than he was supposed to play, than he was supposed to get, and probably 3 to 4 less fantasy points than he was supposed to project for. So his fantasy score line, now that he's not starting, should probably be like 24. So yeah, 28 is definitely a good under, in my opinion. Let me switch this back. Been following you for over a year now. Hands down, the best for Prizepicks. We don't win every time, which is expected, but I've made the most money from you. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I try and do what I can, man. I try and show you guys the way, give you the value. Of course, we're not going to win every night, but we're making the right decisions in the end. Now, the Cam Spencer over that we took last night, that was probably a bad bet. But maybe it still hits. Maybe it still hits. But the fact that he's not starting, that concerns me. But thank you for the kind words. Simple. Appreciate that, man. You like Jared Allen over 9 rebounds or 24.5 PR with Mobley sitting? Yeah, we can look at Jared Allen's props. I know Jared Allen, he's had some games this year without Mobley where he wasn't very good, but some of those games were blowouts. So he's averaging 9.3 rebounds per game. PR, you know, that equates to what? 18.8 PR, so that equates to like 28 PR, points and rebounds. But if you look at a lot of these games where he went under or just didn't play well, you know, blowouts or like weird minutes, like only 23 minutes in an overtime game, like that's weird. 28 minutes, 30 minutes, but then 20 minutes, 26, 23. Like if you look at games without Mobley when he's played at least like 26 minutes, you know, 23 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game. I will say the matchup against Charlotte is not good. Like Charlotte's actually been pretty good this year, defending the paint, rebounding. Historically, Charlotte's been really bad, but this year, not as much. The lines have kind of already adjusted on Jared Allen, but I still think there's some value in some of his overs. Like, I don't hate over 9 boards. Most of the sportsbooks have his line at 9.5, slightly juiced to the under. At 9 on Prizepicks, I think that's still okay to take the over on. Your Cam Spencer pick for PRA went down. How do you feel about that? Yeah, I don't feel great, man. He's not starting. They only have non-available players, so he's still going to get some minutes, but I'm very surprised that he's not starting with how shorthanded they are. It looks like all of his lines are gone. That play's probably cooked. Like, maybe he still hits. We'll see. But yeah, the fact that he's not starting has me worried. But the Kyle Anderson under, you know, you can still take that because he's not starting as well. But yeah, that was probably a bad bet. Like, I'll admit when I make a bad bet, and that bet on Cam Spencer was probably a bad bet. Looks like they just removed Anderson's fantasy. Hopefully you guys got that. 240 minutes to go around divided by 9 Pacers, like 27 minutes each. I mean, that is true, but I doubt they spread out the minutes that way. Like, everybody gets the same amount. Like, if anything, some guys will get over 30, some guys will get mid-20s, and then maybe McConnell gets like 22. But again, now that McConnell's starting, I think his minutes are better. Filipowski's still at 10 rebounds. Is that so? Oh, yeah, he is at 10. I mean, I think it's better at 10 now. The Grizzlies are starting Lawson Lovering, who, like, I don't know anything about Lawson Lovering, but, I mean, defensively, he can't be good. And on the glass, he can't be good, so... It's definitely a good rebounding matchup for Filipowski, that's for sure. Big game from Hartenstein with Claxton out. I mean, I like the matchup for sure. Just the blowout risk in that game has me really concerned. I mean, OKC's favored by, like, 16. Like, there's a chance that, you know, Hartenstein only plays, like, 3 quarters. But I would expect him to be productive when he's out there. Maybe you could look at like a first half prop. Oh yeah, it is a revenge game for Tyus. I forgot about that. Didn't Tyus used to play for Minnesota? Am I tripping? He used to play for Minnesota, yeah. Prizepicks took forever to increase 3 minutes from 5 to 6. I know. That took forever for them. That was a good change though, for sure. Now we'll see if they do what Underdog did and go to 6.5x. Hopefully they do. I would think they typically do. Like especially if they see a drop in their customers over the next like month or so, they'll make a change, I would assume. But I mean, yeah, Underdog definitely, that was a good change from Underdog. That makes it more enticing and more profitable to play there now. If you can get some money down. I can only play $25 on Underdog, so I can't get no fucking money down there, but do you like Gobert over 11.5 rebounds? We can look at Gobert. It's a really good matchup against Dallas. This is a game that does have blowout risk, though, which concerns me a little bit. But, I mean, you know, you look at what a lot of centers have done lately on the glass against Dallas. A lot of centers have been going over their rebounds lines. Ayton had 11. Mitch had 14. Mark Williams had 9. Şengün had 14. Zubac went under, but he still had 11. Even the players that have gone under have like barely gone under their lines. I want to say, yeah, Dallas, like they're 28th in rebounds allowed. They give up a ton of rebounds to centers, give up a ton of offensive rebounds. Definitely a good matchup for Gobert to be, you know, good on the glass. I just worry that like he only plays like 26 minutes because, you know, Minnesota blows him out. Because I mean, Dallas doesn't have Cooper Flag, they don't have Anthony Davis. Obviously, he's not on the team anymore. They're really thin. Looks like his line's pretty much 11.5 everywhere. Pretty much even money, too. Pinnacle's slightly juiced to the under. Pinnacle's typically one of the sharpest books. They're slightly favoring the under. Join this live late. Can you give me a play? Please, thanks, bro. I mean, a lot of the plays we've given out have already bumped or removed. Like, if you're going to try and tail some of the slips that we give out on stream, you've got to be in the stream, like, earlier. Because, you know, everything we're giving out typically gets bumped or removed pretty quickly. So I would just say try and get to the streams earlier if you can. Contra starting revenge game? I did see that, yeah. We'll see how much he plays. Jazz going with Collier, Conchar, Cody Williams, Bailey, Filipowski. Grizzlies, Meshack, Wells, GG, Hendricks, Lawson, Lovering. Yeah, I did see the Underdog change. I mean, it's a good change for sure. The only thing I'd say is that Underdog does not have a lot of fantasy score lines, which that's my knock against them. They only put up like fantasy scores for like star players, whereas Prizepicks puts up fantasy scores for pretty much like every starter and some bench guys as well. I would play more on Underdog if they did that, but I'm like a big fantasy score guy, and I like to play on the sites that have a lot of fantasy score lines. But yeah, definitely now that Underdog made the payout change, it makes sense to get more money down there if you can. Definitely subscribe. I'll try to keep up. Okay, appreciate that, Joel. Appreciate you subscribing. And yeah, we typically we'll live stream like an hour before the game starts. Now, I typically don't stream on the weekends, so like I'm not going to be live tomorrow or Sunday, but I should be back Monday, an hour before lock, or you know, if it's a small slate, sometimes I'll go live like 30 minutes before. So yeah, and you can see on the YouTube channel, you can see like when the stream is expected to start, so you can set a reminder, do whatever you got to do. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Hopefully our slips cash tonight. We all make some money. Enjoy your Friday night, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Of course, I'll have videos up this weekend for the NBA slates. I'll have plays for tomorrow, for Saturday. I'll have probably some plays for Sunday too. We'll see. No streams though. Typically, again, don't stream on the weekends. So I'll see you guys back here on Monday. All right. Have a good weekend, and let's all win some money tonight. Peace out, everybody.